Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I want to do is talk about a question that I got asked recently from a client who's looking to lease commercial property. And this question that he asked me was, what exactly is a percentage lease? As we've talked about in various different videos in this channel, there are various different types of commercial leases, and a percentage lease is one that's more common within the retail space, in particular in shopping centers, for a variety of reasons that we're going to dive in and explain in this video. But before we do that, we would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now that you've done that, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this video. All right, so as I stated previously, the percentage lease is most common in retail, and in particular when you're talking about shopping centers or malls, where a landlord is going to be beautifying the center or drawing people in through a variety of different tenant mixes within their center. Typically, they want to be rewarded for those efforts. Essentially, what a percentage lease is where tenants pay a base rent plus a percentage of their revenue that's generated from that store or business above a natural breakpoint. So in order to define exactly what that looks like, there's a calculation that you could follow. Essentially, what it is a total rent is equal to your base rent. So that's typical, like $12 a square foot for 1,000 square feet. That base rent would be $1,000 a month. That's considered your base rent, plus the minimum of either zero if you don't hit your break point, or a percentage times your gross sales minus that natural break point. So in order to calculate your natural break point, you essentially would take your base rent and divide it by the percentage that you agree upon within the lease agreement. So let's go through an example so it makes it a little bit easier to understand. So let's imagine that you approach a landlord and you're able to negotiate terms whereby you as the tenant pay $5,000 per month in base rent. So let's imagine it's 5,000 square feet. You pay $12 a square foot. That essentially means you pay $5,000 in base rent or $60,000 a year, however you want to look at it. So what you would do in order to calculate your natural break point is you take that $60,000 a year, so that's 5,000 times 12, and then divide it by whatever the percentage rent you agree upon. So in this example, let's say it's 5%. So $60,000 divided by 5% gives you a natural break point of $1.2 million. So what exactly does that mean? That means that for every dollar you make above that natural break point, or above $1.2 million, you pay 5% of that revenue to the landlord in additional rent, or percentage rent as it's defined. So let's imagine that your first year goes gangbusters. It's an amazing year, and you, as in that particular store, make $2 million in revenue. So the way that you can calculate your yearly rent is you would take the $2 million minus the $1.2 million, which is your natural break point, and that is $800,000 above your natural break point. So what do you do with that number? Well, you multiply that number by the 5% percentage rent that you've agreed upon to give you your total percentage rent for that year. So $800,000 times 5% gives you $40,000 in additional or percentage rent. You would then take what you pay on a monthly basis, which is $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year, add that to your percentage rent, and you're left with $100,000 per year in expenses, or what you pay as far as rent is concerned. So that's kind of how you calculate your percentage rents. Given the fact that the landlord does share a little bit of upside when it comes to percentage rent, you're typically able to negotiate a little bit lower base rent on the lease term. However, this could be a very good opportunity for landlords that are looking to attract top tenants to their location by offering maybe a little bit lower on the base rent side. But if you're able to really draw a lot of customers to your center, now you can share in the upside of those tenants when it actually occurs, and they're able to generate a significant amount of revenue. So both on the landlord side and the tenant side, I hope you gained some value from this video and now better understand exactly what percentage rent is. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message. Along with that, if you're a tenant or a landlord looking to either pursue percentage rent leases or implement percentage rent leases within your center, please give me a call, especially if you're here in the local metro area of Louisville or Southern Indiana. Be happy to help you. My number is 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at raphael@crisantegroup.com. Again, thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you all next time.